The Astros went out to Anaheim and took care of business, and by that I mean almost, because Ryan Pressly came in on Game 3 and allowed 2 runs to allow the Angels to tie the game before they eventually walked it off in the ninth inning. So thanks, Pressly. You suck. Anyway, so let's recap this series that started off great for the Astros but ended in utter disappointment. Did gain some ground this weekend on the Texas Rangers and Seattle Mariners, but on Sunday they ended up losing ground with them both winning and the Astros losing. But regardless, before I go talk on a rant for Game 3 of this series, let's go ahead and break down the first 2 games of this series. So the first game of this series, started off in a pitcher duel, and it was tied up 1-1 until the 7th inning, when the Astros had scored 5 runs. And it all started with a 3-run double by Yordan Alvarez, which was one of, I think, 2 hits, which is, I think, one of a couple of RBIs he would hit in this series. And then in the 8th inning, the Astros would add on 1 more for good measure, as Framber Valdez, who was the story of tonight's game, tossed his 7th career complete game and his first complete game since throwing his no-hitter in August of last year. So overall, a very good start to the series for the Astros, making a statement early, and the bullpen also getting 2 straight days off. So that's always good to see. Going into Game 2 here, it was more of the same story with another dominant start by an Astros starting pitcher. This one coming at the hands of Hunter Brown. And after the Astros offense had practically fallen asleep, Hunter Brown's last 2 starts, he finally got the offensive run support that he very much deserves. Yordan was responsible for 2 of those runs on a 2-run blast that he had hit. One of 3 hits he would hit in this game, and all 3 of his hits in this game were registered at 100+ miles an hour off the bat. And Diaz's home run streak, and Diaz, by the way, had continued his home run streak in Game 1 of this series, and unfortunately it would come to an end in this game, but an RBI single late in the game gave him 10 RBIs in his last 5 games, so he's been on a tear recently, so it's enough to say that. And then also, of course, another note to mention is that, him and Yordan had base hits, and Diaz came on that RBI that I was just talking about. The exit velocities on those hits came at 103.6 and 103.9 respectively, off of Angels reliever Ben Joyce, who is arguably one of the hardest throwing pitchers in the game. So it's kind of surprising. So anyway, going into Game 3 here, this was the loss that, unfortunately, despite Altuve having a huge day, getting, I think, 3 hits, if not 4 hits in this game, the Astros failed to complete the sweep of the LA Angels this weekend, which, honestly, dude, the sweep was very well within our grasp. And if you very well look at our record and the fact that we're 6 games under 500 with this loss, it really explains of how stinging this loss felt. Eesh, that's not even a word, but you guys get the point. So the Astros had a 7-4 lead as they turned it over to the bullpen. They were down by 1 before 2 more runs would give them the lead, and an Altuve 2-run blast had padded that lead. But at the end of the day, Ryan Pressly allowed 2 runs to eventually to allow the Angels to tie the game before they walked it off in the bottom of the 9th, thanks to Logan O'Happy hitting a walk-off 2-run blast off of Ryan Pressly. That, mind you, Trey Cabbage, who was entering in the game for Alex Bregman, who had left today's game after getting hit by a pitch on the same hand that he had gotten hit by a pitch on against St. Louis last week. Unfortunately, I guess getting hit by a pitch twice on the same hand just, is too much on you. So he had to leave today's game early. Mauricio Dubon came in from left field to take his place at third base. And unfortunately, he had actually committed an error to start off the 8th inning that would eventually come around to score. But, if I'm being honest, even if it didn't come around to score, it may not have hurt that much. But going into the bottom of the 9th inning of this game, when Logan O'Happy for the Angels had hit a walk-off 2-run blast to win the game for the Angels, that Trey Cabbage almost made the catch on. And by that much was by how much he missed that. He had it in his glove, but as he kind of crashed into the pad, it just came out of his glove and fell into the stands. And then afterwards, the umpires came together and decided and ended up talking about whether Logan O'Happy had passed the runner on first base, in which case he would have been ruled out. But even if it wasn't the case, the ball had already scored, had went into the stands, so it would have been a home run anyways. So, and the Angels would have won the game anyway. But, you know, the one difference, even if he did get ruled out, then the Angels would have won 8-6 or 8-7 rather, instead of 9-7, which was the final score in this game. So, I mean, yeah, the runner scoring on that error kind of did come to hurt us. But at the same time, the Astros had a lot of scoring opportunities in this game that they really should have taken advantage of, because again, our bullpen has been nails this month. I mean, certainly has been that way for the past couple of weeks, and you know, and why we're certainly here right now. But at the same time, there's only so much that they can do. Obviously, Hader was the one who gave up that home run. And I mean, I'm not gonna blame it. I'm not certainly gonna blame it on him. Who I am certainly gonna take the blame for is Ryan Pressly, because I mean, this is now his 5th blown save of the season. I mean, technically, he wasn't even in the game. I mean, I guess, like, if he would have come out to get the last 2 outs of the 9th, he would have gotten the save for that. But, like, at the same time, I mean, it's still going to go down as a blown save for Ryan Pressly. Like, he just doesn't have it. And Joe Espada is still saying that he has faith in him to come out and actually pitch a clean inning. I am one of many fans that's saying that has just kept saying that Ryan Pressly is just not it. Like, he should not be the setup man anymore. I love Rafael Montero being the guy that, you know, if he needs to come out in the 6th inning, if the starter can't go that far, to basically, you know, be the setup man for the 3-headed monster, you know, that's fine. But, like, honestly, he should really be the setup man instead of Ryan Pressly. Because, I mean, he just really does not have it. But yeah, after all of this, like I kind of said earlier, the umpire, Joe Espada had come out onto the field to make an appeal that O'Hoppe had passed Kevin Pillar on the base paths. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it really did matter, because even if O'Hoppe did pass Pillar on the bases and got ruled out, Pillar would have still scored the winning run anyways. And, you know, the Angels would have won 8-7 instead of 9-7, you know, kind of like I said earlier. I mean, a bizarre ending to a game that the Astros unfortunately lost. But, you know, again, there's really not much of an excuse for us losing today, because, I mean, this game was very well within our grasp. The sweep was within our grasp, and then we just had to blow it right at the end with Ryan Pressly. I think we just needed 5 more outs to win this game. Very well in position. And then Ryan Pressly just has to let us down right at the end of the game. It's so frustrating. And I mean, at this point, I've seen enough of Ryan Pressly. I either want him to get traded for some bona fide minor league starters. Baltimore has stated that they are interested in him. If we can get a couple of good bona fide starters for him, or bona fide relievers for him rather, then I mean, I would be okay with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this is the last, if not second to last year of a 3-year deal that he signed with the Astros back in 2021, I think. Like I said, dude, Ryan Pressly, he needs to go, because, I mean, he has blown many games for us this season. He blew another one for us in Seattle a couple weeks ago. But, I mean, Espada claims he's going to be relying on him. I mean, I still love Ryan Pressly. He was the guy who won us our second World Series title in 22. But, I mean, I think since then he's lost it. Maybe he's just off to a bad start or something like that. But this is June. Everybody needs to be picking it up. Jose Abreu is picking it up. He hit a home run in this series. He had a good go-ahead 2-run RBI or something like that earlier in this game. But, like, Ryan Pressly is the last guy that has not gotten it together yet. And he needs to, because he's a setup man for Josh Hader. And this would explain the reason why Josh Hader is not getting a lot of opportunities to pitch recently. It's because Pressly just can't set him up. Like, what is the point of a setup man if he's not doing his job? Pick somebody else instead of the same guy. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. If you want to watch my other stuff, click this stuff above my shoulders, and that'll do it. So, hope you guys enjoy, like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next one.